Okay, last time we left off by attaching our deformation bones to the damp track bones so that whenever the damp track is flopping around, the deformation bones are following the damp bones. Uh, so the next part is to give manual control uh, to the animator or to you, whoever, by creating FK chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into edit mode. So press tab, or however, if you're not here already, you're going to press tab or shift or control tab to bring up your radial menu and just find edit mode here. We're going to select all the damp bones we have. If it makes it easier, you can hide your deformation bones if they're on. And we're going to hold shift and D, and we're going to have our new damp track here. So just right click to drop it without moving it. Press M. We're going to create a new collection called FK. Now we can hide our damp chain. We can press Control F2. You might be in objects if you're just starting your Blender right now, because it always resets. Go ahead and move it into bones. We're going to change damp with FK, and we're going to remove the 0.001 with nothing and replace it with nothing. All right, let's go into pose mode. Uh-oh. Huh. Interesting. Oh. Let's hide the damp bones. Press A to select all. Press Control Alt C. Okay. Control Alt C clears all constraints on selected bones, and it looks like because we had duplicated the damp track, they all had the damp track constraint on them, but we just removed them. So now we just have our plain old FK chain here. We're actually not putting any constraints on these because we want them to remain like this, so we can manually rotate. So take a second and think about how you would how would you gain control of the geometry with the FK bones? If you guessed it, if you guessed how to do it properly, it would be the exact same thing we did to the damp track. So turn on your deformation bones. First, select your FK. We'll start on this end. Select your FK bone and hold shift to select your DEF bone. Control Shift C. Copy transforms. So now we have two constraints, and our FK copy transforms constraint is on the top, and our damp track copy transform constraint is on the bottom. I know that this looks like it's technically on the top, but it actually works like everything that's below. This is the first one, so this is the second one. This is on top. So this FK one is overriding the damp track one. So if I select this FK bone, it's actually now following the deformation bone is now following the FK, and I have control over this geometry, but not over here yet because we have to do that for all of them. So we'll just continue on. Actually, first let's go back to this FK here, this damp track, this deformation bone that we just added the FK constraint to, and we're going to rename this to FK. This way we can know that this top one is FK and the bottom one's the damp track. So let's continue on. So FK, hold shift, DEF, Control Shift C, copy transforms. We're going to rename this to FK. Select your FK, which is the target bone, hold shift, and now you have your DEF bone, which is the bone you want the constraint on. Control Shift C. copy transforms, and rename to FK. FK, hold shift, DEF, which is the bone we want our constraint on, control shift C, copy transforms, rename it to FK. All right, this is similar to the damp track that we just put at 8.8. You can change these both to 0.5 and it'll be like they're both sharing influence, but I don't use that, so but it's just an option in case you think of something clever or interesting to do with that. So all right, so now we have our, let's hide our deformation bone so it's easy to select. We can rotate our bone as if these are deforming, but they're not. Our deformation bones are following our FK bones now. That's pretty much it for part 3.